Hi everyone, hi, it's Gina here again from Will Written, helping you to plan a secure future and protect your assets for the benefit of yourself and the people that you care about most using my magic toolbox of wills, trusts and powers of attorney. Now today I'm going to talk about trusts, and I know that that's a word that strikes terror into the hearts of many. The first word that springs to mind when you hear the word trust is often, ooh, complicated, intimidating, expensive. Yes, I know. We all think, crikey, I'm just a normal person with a normal family. Why would I need something so esoteric as part of my estate plan? Well, do you know what? Those are just myths. I'm going to debunk those myths today, and I'm going to show you that trusts are actually easy, user-friendly, economical, and really useful. It's just a matter of choosing the right tool for the job in hand. So first of all, let me get down to basics and explain to you what a trust actually is. Do you know what? A trust is just a job description. That's all it is. If you create a trust, what you're doing is you're saying, I've got this asset, I'm going to give it to this reliable person, that's your trustee, my trustee, to look after for the benefit of this person that I care about, or these people that I care about, your beneficiaries basically, and that is it. The only variations is how much detail you go into in the instructions that you give to your reliable person, to your trustee. Now, you can create a trust within your will so that it takes effect in the event of your death, and you can also create a trust that takes effect immediately by putting it into a separate deed that takes effect straight away. Let's look first of all at the types of trusts that you can incorporate into a will that take effect straight away in the event of your death. So there are several different approaches, and the simplest actually is a very short little paragraph within a simple will that is saying to your trustees, who are your executors, to look after part of your estate for somebody. So that paragraph in your will would be saying, I want my trustees to look after this part of my estate for this person for this period of time. Most commonly it's executors, I want you to take care of my child's inheritance until my child is of age. So it might be until they're 18 or 21 or 25, or whenever you think your child would be mature enough to look after their inheritance themselves. Once that age is achieved, your executors simply hand over the inheritance to the child, and their own job is done. Then it's over to your kid from there to look after as they see fit. That's it, job done. Going up a level then, within a traditional will, you can ask your executors to act as trustees to look after part of your estate for somebody for their lifetime. So that would be you creating a life trust. A life tenancy is what it's most commonly called. So for example, if you're a married couple, you might be saying, my half of the house, I want my trustees to make available to my spouse to live in for the rest of his or her life. But when we've both died, my half of the house goes outright to my children. You've seen that in one of my previous videos about protecting your house from care fees, for example. It's also very common if you are a blended family where you've got kids from each side of the family, you know? So you might want to make sure that your spouse is okay without leaving a situation where your kids are left with nothing, without an inheritance. So this is an ideal compromise, because you can say, I'm leaving this part of my estate to my executors to hold as trustees to look after for my spouse's benefit for the rest of his or her life, and then it's to be handed over absolutely outright to my children when we've both died. That's really cool, and it can encompass both a right to occupy your home and also a right to live on the income, the interest and the dividends from your savings and investments, for example. But at the same time, you know that your children's inheritance is going to be secure while your spouse, if he or she outlives you, is not going to go without. So that's a handy compromise that's frequently used. At its most robust, you can insert a trust into a family trust will. In this kind of will structure, what you're saying is, this part of my estate I'm giving to my executors to look after indefinitely for the benefit of my family as a whole, across multiple generations if necessary. And I'm giving my executors really wide powers to do what they think is best for the family with those assets, to invest them or take care of them or manage them as they see fit, and to distribute the assets in such a way as they see fit, in such amounts as they see fit, when they think is right, to the people that they think is right. So that's really, really wide powers. And then what you do is you supplement that with an expression of your wishes, explaining to your executors how you want them to exercise those wide powers. So for example, you might be saying to them, look, if I'm the first to go, I want you to treat those assets within the trust as exclusively for the purpose of looking after my spouse until we've both died. And after that, yes, my children will take their turn from that point onwards. It also enables you to say, look, trustees, executors, I want you, when you're benefiting my children, to protect those assets from outside threats. So any financial vulnerability that my children might experience after I've passed away, the assets that I'm leaving won't be vulnerable to those problems. This is really useful for things like protecting your child's inheritance from maybe getting divorced in the future or getting into insolvency issues with their business and that kind of thing, you know. So that's the way that you can use trust within your will. Now, the way that you would create a trust in your lifetime would be, as I say, to write up a family trust deed. And with that, what you'd be saying is, look, I've got this asset that I'm going to give to my trustees, and that could be members of your family, a reliable person, you know, it can be anybody you think that you can rely on to take care of that asset. And my trustees are going to look after that asset for the benefit of my family as a whole, like in a family trust will, with all those protections, you know. You've got the added advantage there of being able to avoid the cost of probate at the end of your life. So you've got convenience and economic benefits for your family in the event of your death, because what will happen in the event of your death is that the assets that are within the trust, the benefit of those assets will just pass smoothly from generation to generation without having to be formally inherited, and so without having to go through the probate process with all of the complication and expense that that involves. So it can actually make your family's life easier rather than more complicated. And at the same time, you can reserve to yourself for the rest of your life the right to benefit from the assets that you've put in the trust. So for example, if you decide to put your house into the hands of your trustees to look after for the family, you can say, however, yes, you're looking after my house for the benefit of my family, but for the rest of my life, I'm the primary beneficiary of this trust. So it's me that comes first before everybody else. And only when I'm dead do the next generations of my family start to benefit at your discretion, basically. So very, very useful range of tools that you can deploy as trusts, and lots of really helpful outcomes that you can bring about. And as you can see, a trust is just a job description, a handy tool that you can use to protect your family and your assets, and it can be as simple or as detailed as you need it to be. It just has to be part of your overall estate plan, and it has to serve the purpose that you need it to serve. So I hope all that helped. Now, if you need some more specific guidance about your own situation and how you might want to put trusts to good use, by all means, give me a call whenever you want to. I'm on 0151 601 5399. Or alternatively, you might want to do a bit more homework, in which case go and visit my website, where there's a fantastic blog with loads of really useful information that you can go through and learn an awful lot more about the topics that are on your mind. So lovely to speak to you again, and I'll hope to see you again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.